and welcome to this NFL Insight preview of the big match between the Saints and the Patriots, which takes place in New England on Sunday. I'm Andy Richmond, and this exclusive preview is brought to you by NFL Insight. What are we going to cover here? Well, we'll cover some of the betting markets, reflect on previous games between the two teams and how they've started the season. We'll also take a look at some of the important tactical elements within this game. But before we round out the preview with a small sample of our live match trading statistics, which form the base of a lot of the work that we do in the trading room on Sunday night, and the trading decisions and strategies that we make when we trade this game absolutely live and dangerous, probably sometimes. Well, let's take a look at the betting markets first of all, and see how they shape up. Between them, we obviously see that we have our live match prices here and our tissue, and to be honest with you, the bookmakers are siding with the Patriots even despite their defeat on Sunday, and they're a little bit shorter than we would make them. We would probably be nearer making the Patriots a 1.96 chance, whereas the bookmakers make them 1.73. So if you want to back the Saints, that's 2.24 that's on offer, or 2.25 that's on offer with the bookmakers. Looks pretty decent value to us at the moment. What are they like on the exchanges? We'll take a look at the Matchbook exchange here, and there again the money has very much been for the Patriots, 1.74. They are strong at home, but the Saints have been getting the job done on the road, and 2.29 looks quite an attractive price. Handicaps? Well, there's not much in it. Like the first game that we're going to be trading on Sunday night, that's going to be the Ravens and the Packers. It's really a token point, and that really doesn't change the prices that much. It's the Patriots still 1.77, and the Saints 2.24. They're just getting that point. The points line, well, that's set on the Matchbook exchange at around 49.5. The Saints, well, they've been scoring points at a decent clip. I think they're averaging around 26 points a game at the moment. The Patriots less so. So that 49.5, although both these sides are capable of scoring at a good clip, the Patriots not quite in sync at the moment, and maybe the under is just a little bit of a call to make there at the moment. Let's take a look at how these teams have shaped up in the past. Well, the point scoring between the teams in the past has been pretty healthy. Although, as I said, I think the Patriots just at the moment just struggling to get a little bit in sync, but they might have a couple of players, or one big player, back on Sunday at least. The Patriots in the series overall, they lead 8-4, but they lost the last meeting 38-17, although they did win the previous 3 meetings between the sides. The Saints, well, they're one of the 3 unbeaten sides in the NFL, going at 5-0. They've won twice on the road. They beat Chicago last week, 26-18. That's quite an impressive victory, and just got past Tampa Bay earlier in the season, 16-14. The Patriots, well, they were unbeaten. They were 4-0 until last week, when they failed to score a touchdown for the first time in a long time against the Bengals, and losing 13-6 as well. The Bengals have been quite a decent side this year, but the Patriots, again, they looked a little bit off in that game. So let's take a look. Let's go inside. One of the things we always do in these previews is look at the 5 facets of the game for each side that could influence the game and how it's going to go. So let's start with the Saints. They're on the road, as we've said, but I doubt that will slow down the progress of their tight end Jimmy Graham. He's had a stellar start to the season. He's proving really hard for oppositions to defences to even stop or even control. After becoming the first tight end to win Player of the Month since 1986, Graham picked up right up where he left off in his game against the Bears. His 10-catch, 135-yard performance, that's become almost a standard for him at this point in time. And they can line him up all over the offensive front. He's lined up wide, he's lined up in the slot, he's even lined up in the backfield. He's simply too big, too fast and too tenacious. Graham is undoubtedly the best at his position at the moment. He's slowly becoming the best full stop. If the Patriots don't at least control him, the Saints will be moving the ball with ease via his connection with quarterback Drew Brees. The Saints, for some odd reason, are widely regarded as being a team that's best when they're home field, when they have home field advantage in their domed environment. They're characterised as an indoor team. Beating the Bears on the road will have gone a long way to dispelling those crazy notions. The Saints have won road games at an alarming clip for the duration of the Brees-Payton era. This season, the Saints have shown they can win all types of games, as both units, offense and defense, importantly defense under Rob Ryan this year, have picked up the slack when one is underperforming. When you play on the road, packing your run game although packing your own game is very important, although that must improve, and the defence is a must, and I must say that has improved this year. The Saints did that for the most part against Chicago, and they need to follow up against the Patriots. Now, it's rare that you can point to one unit that's holding an entire team back, but it can't be stressed enough. The offensive line is actually the Achilles heel of this, what is a good and becoming a great team again. The Saints' inability to run the ball hasn't been more vivid than in the Chicago game. They only gained 66 yards and 28 carries, and I've already mentioned the fact that when you're on the road, you need the run game to quieten the crowd. Those 66 yards and 28 carries, just 2.4 average. The offensive line was struggling. They were struggling to get the run game going, struggling to get a push, struggling to make holes. Surprisingly, the Saints are notched only 15th in total rushing attempts, 125 they've had, and they're 25th in total yards, 391, and they rank a lowly 29th in yards per attempts at 3.1. In addition, quarterback Drew Brees, he's been sacked 14 times. That puts him 7th in line for sacks. You've got to look after your quarterback, especially as one as good as Drew Brees. The unit not need to improve a lot with their run blocking, but also the protection of Brees, who is in that elite level of quarterbacks. If they lost him, God knows what would happen to the Saints. Having head coach Sean Payton back in the fold, that's improved the Saints enormously. He's been and was the architect of most of the success the Saints have had, and understands the psyche of the franchise completely. And most importantly, the players in his staff trust him and have the utmost confidence in his game plans, which can, I must say it sometimes, pretty ballsy. Remember that onside kick in the Super Bowl against the Colts? That was to start the second half. That was really ballsy, and you can expect some ballsy calls from Sean Payton. He's doing really well since he's back. Payton's coming off back after his coaching bag is one of, if not the biggest reason for the Saints' 5-0 season so far. Now, we always talk a lot about pressure on a quarterback, and the Saints will need to keep generating this in this game. It's been noticeable they haven't got much in the way of pressure from their front seven, and it's been crucial that they are creative with their blitzes to get pressure on a quarterback like Tom Brady. Expect them to see plenty of pressure from the secondary, even though doing that with Brady comes with risks attached that it can leave you with man-on-man coverage in the secondary, or even some spare targets. Brady, if he picks those up early, will hurt you, but they must get pressure on him. Moving on now, we can take a look at the Patriots game plan. We've already seen this year quarterback Tom Brady showing plenty of emotion and frustration both with himself and his team, and much of that angst probably stems from some of the performances that the defence are throwing in. At the moment, without Vince Wilfork, they look all at sea, and teams are finding it easy to run on them, especially at the interior of the line. And it's a position that the Saints can exploit in this context, which is why I was referring earlier to how important the run game is for the Saints and their offensive line. They must win that battle, offensive line against defensive line, and get a push. Brady himself, he's not in the same form as usual. Only twice in 5 games has he gained a positive grade on Pro Football Focus, which is the stats database that I use, which grades every player every week. And last week against the Bengals was the first time in 52 games that he had failed to throw a touchdown pass, and his PFF grade was again negative. That's the second negative grade that he has earned this season, and considering he didn't have one negative grade all last year, you can see the scale of the problem. Tom Brady's favourite receiver has long been the open receiver. However, Brady has missed open receivers with increasing regularity this year, instead of opting to try and fit throws into tighter windows. Against Cincinnati, one play stuck out in particular. Brady ensured an easy throw to a wide open James Devlin in order to throw to a covered Danny Amendola. If Brady becomes too focused on Amendola and Julian Edelman, he is going to continue to miss out on chances down the field. He needs to start trusting his other receivers again, otherwise the Patriots are going to have further problems. Part of the problem for the Patriots has been the poor form of their offensive guards, and Logan Mankins and Dan Connolly were particularly poor against the Bengals. They shouldn't face an aggressive or even an over-aggressive unit against the Saints, but they do need to step up and protect Brady better, otherwise Tom's anger is going to get worse before it gets better. Trying to avoid injuries and keeping players fresh is a big part of being successful in the NFL, and the return of tight end Rob Gronkowski will be a huge boost if it happens on Sunday for the Patriots. Gronkowski has been recovering from off-season surgeries on a broken left forearm and back. He's participated in practice on a limited basis this week and has continued to go forward. He participated on Wednesday, and I think he's also participated today as well, as I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon. Just adding Gronkowski to Brady's passing options would help enormously. Brady has completed just 5 of 19 attempts into the end zone this season. That's 26.3%. That's his worst percentage in 7 seasons. Brady's really struggled without Rob Gronkowski, who has caught 26 of Brady's 56 completions since the start of 2010. So a return for the tight end will be a huge boost, not only for Brady, but for the Patriots as a whole. The red zone offense, we just sort of touched on it there. Improving their red zone offense is one element of the game that the Patriots, they've got to improve this. When looking at touchdowns scored from inside that area, they rank 31st in the league this season, converting on just 35.2% of their visits into that area into a TD. Last season they ran that figure at a clip of 67.5. Against the New Orleans side that's averaging nearly 27 points per game, those opportunities must be taken to keep them in the game. Field goals will not be enough to keep pace with the Saints. I mentioned at the top of the show our exclusive trading stat sheets, and these have lots of information on how the sides have responded in certain situations before and how often they go on to win a game from certain situations. These give us a great guideline and price to compare with what is an offer from the bookmakers at that point, so an in-play tissue if you like. Here you can see what the true prices should be in the following situations. We've taken half time in this context, and just by comparing similar games of a similar nature, we can see what's likely to happen throughout the game. In our live trading room on Sunday night, we have the ability to predict a live tissue price and how likely statistically certain outcomes are to happen, such as what is likely to happen if the sides lead by a certain score at half time, and what are their chances of leading by a certain margin in the second half. This gives us a great fix on the game as to where it's going to go and how much sense those prices make. And as I've already mentioned, we've now developed a spreadsheet which can price the match throughout the game dynamically, depending on what the current score is and the time elapsed. Those are exclusively available now as part of our Insiders Club. These statistics are just a small taster of the plethora and profusion of data that we have available, both in those sheets and via my co-presenter on the Sunday nights in the live trading room, Andrew Broker. These are exclusively available to NFL Insight and via the live updates that are in our live trading room. They make us able to assess match situations on the odds available and the value available at an instant. Now, these match previews, I hope you enjoy them. They're just a small part of what we do here at NFL Insight, and if you like them, well, make sure you subscribe to NFL Insight via our TV channel, which is on YouTube. There you'll see all our latest previews, and I'll be back with further match previews in the coming weeks as we beef up our NFL progress along the way. And make sure you also check out our betting focus previews via our website, which is www.betting-insight.com. There are our previews. Take a look at all the best betting opportunities on the game once we've taken into a lot of the tactical factors that I've mentioned in this preview. Come and get involved with us at NFL Insight for all your NFL previews, statistics, trading views and betting advice. NFL Insight is at the forefront of a new way of looking at and betting on the NFL.